Viewers, in a massive setback for fugitive businessman Lalit Modi, the Vanuatuan Prime Minister has ordered the cancellation of his passport. This comes just 3 days after he applied with the Indian High Commission in London to surrender his Indian passport. He was declared as a fugitive economic offender, and Lalit Modi has been on the run since 2010. The Vanuatuan government released a formal statement saying that authorities learnt about 2 alert notices issued for the ex-IPL commissioner. The Vanuatuan Prime Minister said that Vanuatuan passport is a privilege, not a right. After the citizenship snub, the former IPL commissioner took to social media to share pictures of him from Vanuatu, calling Vanuatu a beautiful country. Lalit Modi has remained elusive for almost 1.5 decades now. Known for making the marquee Indian Premier League T20 tournament popular, he was accused of money laundering and bid rigging. A probe was launched against him, and in 2013 he was banned for life after a committee found him guilty of the charges against him. Now, political war has broken out, with the Congress alleging that Lalit Modi is being shielded by the BJP government, but the BJP says that no one can escape the law.
ललित मोदी, नीरव मोदी, विजय माल्या सहित तमाम भगोड़े मोदी जी के लाडले, पर ये मोदी जी के लाडले हैं, देखिए कब करते हैं। इन्हें लाया जाना चाहिए, कानून के सामने प्रस्तुत होना चाहिए, इन पर मुकदमा चलनी चाहिए।
Without any kind of legal action by the government of India, he is happily enjoying in UK and other European countries, which shows that Mr. Modi and Amit Shah are soft towards people like Lalit Modi and other people.
ललित मोदी जैसा फ्रॉडिया जो आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी से सांठगांठ करके उन देशों में आराम से वो अपनी जिंदगी गुजार रहा है, और आप देख लीजिएगा जिस दिन ललित मोदी लौटेगा भारतीय जनता पार्टी उसको अपनी पार्टी ज्वाइन कराएगी.
So the Vanuatu Prime Minister realized that Lalit Modi is a fugitive from India, so the law will take its own course, even in the foreign country. It's not easy to run away from the hands of law.
All right, let's take this across to our guest now. Joining us, we have with us Tushar Gupta, political analyst. Captain Alok Bansal, retired, is the director of India Foundation. With us is Akhilesh Khatiyar, national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. But my first question is to Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, the opposition says that the government has failed. But 2 things have happened. One, Lalit Modi himself has probably felt the heat in UK and has moved to Vanuatu. Vanuatu has now cancelled his passport. Doesn't all of this show that diplomatic pressure is perhaps working?
Yes, Madhav, that could show that. Thank you so much for having me on the show. That could, you could interpret it that way. Or we could ask the first question, how did Lalit Modi escape? Lalit Modi escaped because the government allowed him to escape. There was a lookout notice for him. Yet Lalit Modi packed his bags and went from an airport where his passport was revoked. He's got a temporary travel passport. The then External Affairs Minister, late Sushma Swaraj, accepted that happened. And a present BJP MP was on his legal team. That is the problem. Lalit Modi, like Vijay Mallya, was allowed to escape. Vijay Mallya took 27 or 28 big bags along with 40 other bags and walked out. 5 minutes before he walked out, or half an hour before he walked out, a CBI notice against him was changed. That is the question that needs to ask. I am not doubting that the government today, because of perceptional issue, is putting all efforts to try and get Mr. Modi and Mr. Mallya back. But they were allowed to escape. Now,
okay.
why Mr. Modi...
Let's go point by point. Tushar Gupta, they were allowed to escape. It's not just about Lalit Modi, it's also about Vijay Mallya. Quick response.
No, I was listening to Tehseen and he says Lalit Modi was allowed to leave. In which year did he leave India? In which year did Lalit Modi leave India? Which government did we have in the center then? I mean, are we going
BJP.
to just waste it? Come on, Tehseen. He left India in 2010. What are you even talking about? He's been gone for 1.5 decades. We are in 2025. It's been 15 years. He's been on the run. He's looking from, country to country. No, Tehseen, hold on. You just said BJP allowed him to go on a free run. It wasn't the BJP. It was under No, hold on.
Tehseen. Let him speak. Tehseen, let him make his point. Tushar, complete your point.
Tehseen, what you're calling a perceptional issue isn't a perceptional issue. The man has been on the run for 15 years. The world changes in 15 years. And yet 15 years later, he can't find a safe haven. He was proudly proclaiming that he's found a new home. The passport stands cancelled. He wanted to surrender his passport. I think he'll probably withdraw that request from the Indian High Commission. So when you say that the Indian government has not done enough, I really want to understand what more could the Indian government have done if a fugitive on the run for 15 years still can't find a safe haven. People in the Congress say, oh, look, the Indian diplomacy has failed. There is no diplomatic pull that the Prime Minister enjoys. But there is a gentleman here who has all sorts of resources at his disposal. And yet 15 years after leaving the country, 15 years, he can't find a home.
Okay. You're short on facts, Tehseen. Your response to Tushar?
No, I'm not short on facts. Lalit Modi left the country in 2010. His passport was revoked then by the UPA government. It is Sushma Swaraj, the External Affairs Minister, that gave him a temporary Indian passport despite a CBI lookout notice and an Interpol lookout notice allowing him to travel. That is the point. And he traveled with baggages out of the airport with a temporary Indian passport from abroad. In Vijay Mallya's case, with 27 bags and 40 small bags, the CBI notice was withdrawn 30 minutes before, and Vijay Mallya was allowed to escape during this government, as was Nirav Modi. The pattern is similar. Be it Lalit Modi, for whom there was a notice. Tushar, 1 second. Let me explain to you. Be it Lalit Modi was out of the country, a passport was given to him, a temporary passport. Where has that happened? Give me another case where temporary passport was given to a fugitive. An Interpol lookout notice was issued for Lalit Modi.
Yeah, but just to set the record straight, you said that he fled the country, once the Modi government came in. Tushar, on that particular point, of course, is right. But I'm still allowing your question. Tushar, the question he's saying is that why was he, as a fugitive, given a passport in the first place by the BJP government? That's a question from Tehseen.
No, I think when the visa was issued and the External Affairs Minister then herself was very candid about this whole issue, he was still under investigation. The investigations were still on. The entire case was still going on. Right. The question here is, people are saying, fine, she gave him a temporary visa. That's your argument, Tehseen. You tell me, if India's diplomatic pull is so weak, why doesn't he have a home even after 15 years?
Okay, let me answer that.
Okay, now let me bring in other panelists. Please, 1 second. Let me bring in Akhilesh Katiyar and Captain Bansal also. I'll come back to both of you. Akhilesh Katiyar, सवाल ये उठता है कि अगर भारत की डिप्लोमेटिक प्रेशर इतनी वीक है, तो ललित मोदी यूके से आखिर क्यों जा रहे हैं? और हमने हाल ही में देखा है किस तरह तावर राणा के केस में यूएस के सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी वो पिटीशन रिजेक्ट कर दी है. और अगर पासपोर्ट इशू होती है तो उसके बाद इशू होने के बाद कैंसिल कैसे होती है? कहीं ना कहीं तो भारत की प्रेशर डिप्लोमेटिकली काम कर रही है सर.
नहीं, नमस्कार माधव साहब, टाइम्स नाउ के सभी श्रोताओं को मेरा प्रणाम. 2-3 बातें जो हो चुकी हैं उस पर नहीं जाना चाहिए. हम एक बात मानते हैं कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी एक भाषण दिया करते थे कि कोई भी आम आदमी के पैसे पे मैं कोई खूनी पंजा पड़ने नहीं दूंगा, पैसे नहीं लूटने दूंगा. हम भारत के प्रधानमंत्री की दुनिया में बहुत धाक है, इस बात को कोई नकारता नहीं है. हम ये मान लिए कि आप 15-15 लाख लाने थे, वो नहीं आए, लेकिन आप इतने ताकतवर हैं, पूरे दुनिया में इतना डंका है, जो जनता का पैसा लूट के गए हैं. 10 साल हो गए हैं साहब, चाहे जो भी 10-12 नाम आते हैं उनमें से कोई भी माधव साहब हम वापस नहीं ले आ पाए. तो किसी ना किसी की कमी गलती तो रही है. हम ईमानदारी से करते, धाक वाले नेता है, ताकतवर नेता है, तो कम से कम किसी को तो लेके आते ताकि जनता के पैसे में जो डकैती पड़ी,
पिछले 5 साल में वो नंबर है 23. Let me bring in Captain Bansal. Captain Bansal, has the government been a complete failure in bringing back fugitive offenders? What is the track record?
See, as far as criminals are concerned, those who were involved in criminal acts of violence or terrorism, we have succeeded to a very great extent. We managed to get a large number of terrorists from different countries, which has been a big achievement. As far as these 2-3 economic offenders are concerned, we have probably not been as successful. And the reason for that is they have strong arms. I think they have the financial muscle. And let me make it one thing very clear. When it comes to cricket, it is no Congress or BJP. It's both parties whose people are actually entangled inside this particular mess. In fact, cricket is being run as a separate corporate entity. I think apart from, you have people from different political parties who are running it. And in fact, it has been a big mafiosi themselves, actually. If you look at it, the way Lalit Modi dealt with the way he was elected Rajasthan Cricket Association president,
Yeah.
the way he was removed, it all actually could go into a TV series and could make a good serial.
Absolutely, but
the
you know
fact
the point is he has also claimed help from Sushma Swaraj and Vasundhara Raje, as was being alleged by Tehseen Poonawalla. This is something that he has publicly stated.
Yes.
One second, coming to you also, Tehseen. One by one.
See, that is an allegation. I can't comment on it. But yes, he was given a passport. That's not a fact. But the fact is that he managed to escape during UPA government. So UPA government is to blame. And as I said,
Of course.
as far as cricket is concerned, you have Rajiv Shuklas and you have other side also. You have people from different political parties and they connive together to serve a common cause.
Yes,
But what is
Tehseen,
important is
now let me come to the point. Having established what you were asking, now let me ask you this. Lalit Modi's alleged financial irregularities, A, happened during the UPA period. B, he himself has named 3 senior UPA leaders, and I want to read out their names. Sharad Pawar, Praful Patel and Rajiv Shukla as having helped them obtain the travel papers. How can then the Congress party wash its hands of this affair?
Yes, but the ED cases on Lalit Modi, and you may check this, was registered after he went abroad. At the time of
You're
when
not
Lalit
answering
Modi
for
went,
the people who is named.
I'm going to answer that. I'm specifically going to answer that. He claims he's also praising the Prime Minister, whose government gave him a temporary passport to travel, a temporary passport who nobody's got. Look, it's very clear he's targeting Shashi Tharoor, Rajiv Shukla and Mr. Pawar on different capacities as he wants to. Obviously, he wants to play up his government. Obviously, the UPA or the India Alliance comes to power, he will blame the BJP and come here. Don't take that word seriously. Let's look at data, only data. 2010, this guy goes abroad. ED cases are not registered. After that, ED cases are registered. He refuses to come back. The then UPA government has an Interpol notice. CBI works its way out, gets an Interpol notice. Which is the government that gives him a temporary passport and gets that Interpol notice moved, allowing him to travel? That is the only question. He may blame anybody. He's an accused. He's a fugitive. He's a pagoda. Same with Vijay Mallya.
Nobody's denying that. Nobody's denying that. Nobody's denying that. But the point is, as Captain Bansal is saying, you know, no political party can perhaps take the moral high ground.
True. Yes. Can I take one more line? In the case of Mehul Choksi and Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi was at the residence of the Honorable Prime Minister, his official residence. The Prime Minister acknowledged him. After which he went away. Whatever India tried the operation to get him back, the plane.
Sir, I've asked you the name of Sharad Pawar, Praful Patel, Rajiv Shukla. You have not answered that question. You have completely launched broadsides into Sushma Swaraj and others. But the point is that here he has taken the names of these individuals. Tushar, I want you to respond to that. Because he's drawing parallels between Mehul Choksi and Nirav Modi. Tushar.
Look, again, let's go back 16 years. I remember the IPL of 2009, the second season of IPL. And the UPA government was very much interested as to where the IPL will be held. Eventually, IPL was held in South Africa. Why? Because there were the national elections going on. So the UPA was pretty much interested in the affairs of IPL and how it was being conducted, where it was being conducted. Are you telling me that they did not know what Lalit Modi was up to? Number two, Tehseen keeps bringing up this issue of temporary passport. Two things. One, that temporary visa was for him to travel from UK to Portugal, where his wife was being treated for cancer. Even in her public declaration, Sushma Swaraj admitted that it was only on humanitarian grounds, not on moral grounds. Then he used that same visa to travel across Europe, which created another diplomatic stir after he posted his travels on social media.
Let me on that note. I think that's a important point. That's a well-recorded fact also. Tushar, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. I will quickly bring in Captain Bansal on one important point. What happens, Captain Bansal, if India decides to cancel his passport? He's asked India to cancel a passport. How will India ever be able to bring him back to law if that actually happens?
See, then he becomes a stateless citizen. And I think then the host country has to take its law, would take its own decision as to how do they want to deal. And his case for seeking a political asylum could become stronger, because if we cancel the passport, then I think the legal case may become weaker. And I think to that extent, I think we need to keep him as an Indian citizen and ask for extradition.
Right.
Unfortunately, the process of extradition in UK has been very, very slow. And now Vanuatu
Well,
citizenship.
US, UK, in number of these jurisdictions where people actually flee there because they know how complex the entire extradition process is, legally speaking. We'll have to leave it there. Captain Alok Bansal, Akhilesh Katiyar, I'd like to thank both of you for joining us. Tushar and Tehseen, stay with us for debate number 3.